They want total control, control over what you buy and control over what you sell. It sounds like a dystopian movie plot, doesn't it? But it's happening right now, on two fronts. One threat is creeping in from within Europe itself, disguised as convenience. The other is a political hurricane gathering strength across the Atlantic, threatening to smash our economies. I'm Andrew Meet Rich. I used to be an analyst for state-run media, but I chose truth over the party line. Now I'm here in the heart of Europe to connect the dots for you, to show you the hidden meaning behind the headlines, because what you don't know can and will hurt you. Tonight, we're looking at the silent war for your wallet and the loud, brash economic threats from an old friend. These are not separate stories. They are two pincers of the same trap, designed to squeeze our freedom and our prosperity. Do you see the pattern, right? So if you believe in the truth, if you want to stay ahead of the narrative, hit that like button and subscribe. Maybe even consider supporting our work through the link below so we can keep this channel independent and fearless. Because tomorrow the news could change everything. Let's start with the threat from within, the one wrapped in the flag of European progress. The European Central Bank is aggressively pushing for a digital euro. On the surface, their arguments sound seductive. They talk about monetary sovereignty, a noble cause, right? They correctly point out that our current digital payment landscape is dominated by a few non-European private companies. Think Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, all American. This dependence, they argue, makes Europe vulnerable. At the same time, they look over their shoulder at China, which is miles ahead with its digital yuan, a tool of state control if there ever was one. So, the ECB positions the digital euro as our champion, a public alternative designed to fend off foreign giants and authoritarian models. They claim it will enhance our strategic autonomy. You won't believe this. They also sell it as a tool for financial inclusion, a way to help people without bank accounts participate in the digital economy. The project is now deep in a 2-year preparation phase, which started back in November 2023. They are meticulously crafting a rulebook, testing technical designs, and consulting with banks and fintech companies to build this new infrastructure. They promise it will complement cash, not replace it, and even offer a feature for offline payments, supposedly providing a cash-like level of privacy for small local transactions. A final decision on whether to launch this thing won't come until late 2025, after the legislation is passed. But make no mistake, the train has already left the station. What do you think? Comment below. And now listen carefully. Do you really believe this is about our sovereignty, or is it about their control over us? The privacy promises are riddled with holes. The ECB says the Eurosystem won't be able to directly connect online transactions to specific individuals. Directly is the key word. What about indirectly? What about the payment service providers, the banks that will be forced to distribute this digital currency? They will have all the data. The promise of cash-like privacy for offline payments is also strictly limited, likely to small amounts for face-to-face transactions. For everything else, your entire financial life becomes an open book. Just imagine that for a second. A centralized ledger of everything you buy, every service you use, every cause you support. This isn't a hypothetical risk. It's the very nature of a centralized digital currency. And then there's the most terrifying aspect, programmability. They say the digital euro will not bear interest and will have holding limits to stop it from becoming a store of value. Why? To prevent people from fleeing commercial banks in a crisis, which would destabilize the entire system. But this same mechanism that limits how much you can hold could be used for anything. A government could decide your money expires after a certain date to force spending. They could block payments for things they deem undesirable. Think fuel during a climate crisis or a donation to a political movement they oppose. This isn't money anymore. It's a voucher system with terms and conditions written by bureaucrats. Is that the future we want? This is a digital leash, a direct path to a social credit system with a European face. If you're still with me, hit that like button. It tells me you want the truth, not just the headlines. But if you think this is bad, wait until you hear what's happening in Washington. Now let's turn our gaze across the Atlantic, where a political storm is brewing that threatens to become an economic hurricane. President Donald Trump is not just talking about tariffs anymore. He has a concrete, aggressive plan. His team, influenced by hardline trade advisors like Robert Lighthizer, is proposing a universal baseline tariff of 10% on all goods imported into the United States. Let me repeat that. A 10% tax on every single product Europe sends to its largest trading partner. This isn't a scalpel, it's a sledgehammer. And it's just the beginning. For countries deemed to have non-reciprocal or discriminatory trade practices, those tariffs could escalate dramatically, up to 50%. This is a direct echo of his first-term strategy when he hit European steel and aluminum with heavy duties, causing chaos and retaliation. Here's where it gets even worse. Trump has also threatened a staggering 60% tariff on all Chinese goods. While that might seem aimed at Beijing, Europe would be caught in the crossfire. Our supply chains are deeply integrated with China. A 60% tariff would shatter them, creating massive disruption and skyrocketing costs for European manufacturers who assemble products using Chinese components before exporting them to the US. Germany, the industrial engine of our continent, would be hit the hardest. Volkswagen alone reported taking a massive hit of 1.3 billion euros in just the first half of this year due to existing tariff troubles. German car exports to the US have plummeted, and with the threat of these new, broader tariffs, manufacturers face a terrible choice: absorb billions in losses or relocate production to the US, hollowing out our industrial base. You see the pattern, right? Do you honestly think this is just about balancing trade deficits, as they claim? This is a deliberate, calculated assault on the very foundations of the Western alliance. It is economic warfare waged against your closest allies. While Europe stands united against Russian imperialism, pouring billions into the defense of Ukraine and upholding the international order, what is the response from Washington? A threat to cripple our economies. It is breathtaking hypocrisy. The message this sends is catastrophic. To our allies, it says your loyalty is worthless. To our adversaries like Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, it sends a clear signal: the West is divided, dysfunctional, and ripe for the picking. Just imagine the scene in the Kremlin. Putin watches as America, the supposed leader of the free world, takes a baseball bat to the knees of its most crucial partners. He couldn't have written a better script himself. This policy of America first is nothing more than America alone. It is a profound strategic blunder that sacrifices long-term security for short-sighted political theater. And for what? To protect a few politically symbolic industries while risking millions of jobs across the wider economy, both in Europe and America. What will Brussels do? The EU has stated it is its sovereign right to regulate its economy and will not bow to threats. But this sets the stage for a devastating tit-for-tat trade war that no one can win. This isn't leadership. It is an act of geopolitical self-harm that will leave us all weaker, poorer, and less secure. If you believe in a strong, united Europe, hit that subscribe button. So, look at the picture that emerges. From the inside, we face a push towards a digital currency that could create an unprecedented system of surveillance and control, stripping away our financial privacy. From the outside, we face an economic assault from the United States that threatens our jobs, our industries, and our prosperity. It's a two-front war against European autonomy. Both threats in their own way are about power, the power to watch and the power to punish. We are being squeezed. Can we, as Europeans, find the strength and unity to resist both the siren song of digital control and the bully tactics of economic nationalism? This is the challenge of our time. We must be informed, we must be alert, and we must stand together. This is why we do what we do, to give you the facts and the context you need to see the full picture. So please, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it. Support our mission if you can, because staying informed is not a passive activity, it is our first line of defense.